Hello friends, welcome to today's daily devotion. I'm Kerry Wood, pastor of the Goldston Methodist Church in Goldston, North Carolina. This is the daily devotion for September the 17th, which means we are in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 17, because we are doing the daily Gospeling challenge to read a Gospel chapter every day between now and the end of the Thanksgiving season. If we do that, we will have covered all four Gospels by the time we're ready to start the first Sunday of Advent on November the 30th. So today we are looking at the 17th chapter of Matthew's Gospel. We'll eventually finish Matthew and go on to Mark, Luke, and John. But today, open your Bibles. Read the entirety of Matthew 17. Today's video is going to focus on Matthew 17 verses 1 through 3. Hear now these words. After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, the brother of James, and led them up to a high mountain by themselves. There he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. Just then there appeared before them Moses and Elijah talking with Jesus. I got to admit to you that this is one of the most mysterious of the stories about Jesus from the Gospels. This place where Jesus is transfigured. He suddenly is shining like the sun. His clothes are brilliant white. And he's talking with Moses and Elijah. I mean, this is wild stuff, folks. This is outside the bounds of normal experience, right? And so there's some people that just want to kind of poo-poo the whole thing and say, yeah, this is just something the disciples made up later to try to build up who Jesus is. But why would they need to make up stories about Jesus? I mean, the things that Jesus already demonstrated means that there were things that people could not comprehend about him. And so you just add this as one more layer of, whew, wow. And so I approach this not out of a lens of doubt, but out of a lens of faith. Instead of poo-pooing this story, we ought to be poom-pum this story. In other words, bum, 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 building it up, making it bigger. I may not be doing that very well. But yes, this should be considered one of the highlights of the entire experience that Jesus' earthly ministry had when the veil basically was torn away and these three disciples are able to see Jesus in the fullness of his glory as the Son of God. And to then emphasize even more his uniqueness, he's now talking to Moses and Elijah. Now, of course, Moses and Elijah are two of the giants of the Jewish faith. Moses is the one who received that covenant from God on Mount Sinai. And again, Jesus is talking to Moses on a mountain. And Moses is the one who received the 10 Commandments. He's the one who led them out of Egypt into the wilderness. And eventually his successor Joshua took them into the promised land. Elijah was one of the major prophets. He is the one who confronted all of the evil that the kings of Israel were doing and their prayers and their false worship to the idols of Baal and Ashtoreth. And he is considered to be one of the greatest prophets. And so we have a representation of Moses and the law and Elijah and the prophets talking to Jesus, who is the one who brings it all together. How much has Jesus brought togetherness into your life? How much have you experienced a transfiguration for yourself? It's interesting, transfiguration that we get here, the root word in the Greek is the same word that we get as transformation, as in to go from what was here to what is over there. And Paul uses this same word when he's talking to the church in Rome in Romans chapter 12, when he says that we need to be transformed in our minds. Friends, we need this exposure to the transcendent, triumphant Jesus to recognize that Moses and the law doesn't cut it for us. Jeremiah and the prophets, they don't cut it for us. It's only Jesus who is able to transform us. And this transformation is getting the sin out of us and getting the love into us. That's what John Wesley describes as pursuing scriptural holiness. To have the love of God so deeply into us that when others look at us, they see Jesus. And wouldn't it be incredible if people saw the Jesus that Peter and James and John saw on the mountain? They see the transfiguration, they see the power, they see the glory of Christ reflected in you and me. That would be a story worth telling. And I'll see you tomorrow for our next daily devotion.